Thank you, Mr. Ledinsky, for your intervention, particularly on telling us not only about the efforts of the Croatian government for the integration of the Roma minority, but also all the other actions that are taken to ensure their integration. I'm really happy that he shared the experience of his wife and his own in working with the children. And this serves as an excellent introduction to what our next speaker will be telling us about. This is Ms. ANKICA NJEZIC, the assistant to the Minister of Science, Education and Sports. Good morning. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, representatives of the member countries of the decade, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors and members of the Roma ethnic minority. I have a great pleasure of being able to welcome you on behalf of Mr. Željko Jovanović, the Minister of Science, Education and Sports, and of course on my own behalf. This 1 year in which Croatia will hold the presidency of the decade will end in the summer of 2013, and we expect that Croatia will become a full member of the EU at that time in July. We are aware of the fact that we will be facing new challenges and new demands, and we have to stress that in the previous period there has been great progress in Croatia in the sphere of tolerance and respect of human rights of the ethnic minorities. Croatia has excellent legislation to protect the rights of the ethnic minorities, but more effort needs to be made in order to make sure that they are implemented, that this legislation is implemented, and we would like to welcome all the initiatives that work toward that goal, especially the new strategy which was carried out in cooperation with the EU. A long time has passed since the action plans related to the decade were first put in motion. In the meantime, the number of countries that have committed their efforts to improving the lives of the members of the Roma minority has increased. And this proves that there is general recognition that this is a problem and that the Roma minority has to be integrated into our society and that their economic position has to be improved. As education is a prerequisite for the progress of every society, every community, special attention is paid to the education of the Roma, because it is a prerequisite for their integration and active participation in the society, especially in a European society. And this is why Croatia is making a great deal of effort in order to ensure that all the members of the Roma community, especially girls, are able to achieve education. And that is why the Roma children have kindergarten places provided for them in order to help them bridge the gap, because the Roma children live in poor areas, and in this way we can ensure that they start their elementary school at an equal footing. If it is impossible to ensure that they have kindergarten places in the same kindergartens as other schools, as other children, then they have special sections set up for them. And a total of 623 children were included in the kindergarten program. Half of them were boys, half of them were girls. And the preschool programs were also, a lot of children took part in them. The state budget funded around 240,000 euros for preschool and kindergarten. And some 8 or 10 years ago, when the national Roma program was first introduced, there were 1,100 Roma children in elementary education, and now this figure is multiplied by 5. We don't have the most recent figures. Of course, the situation is not great, and that's why we need the new strategy. A lot of Roma children do not complete elementary education, as my colleague, Mr. Ledinsky, stressed in his intervention. This is a problem that we face, and this is a problem for which we have to find a solution. As regards the secondary education, there is an increasing number of Roma children who enroll in secondary schools. From 2005 on, we had a total of 14 Roma children in secondary schools, and now we have more than 400 children. They all have scholarships. The total value of scholarships is 210,000 euros. The National Plan for Roma and the National Strategy for the Inclusion of Roma 2005-2015, passed by the Croatian government, includes measures to integrate Roma in the educational process, and the new strategy for the Roma minority until the year 2020, which will place emphasis on education, will make sure that additional problems that Roma face in their educational process are addressed. We will continue investing more money in preschool education and ensure that as many Roma students as possible complete elementary and secondary education, because without that they cannot hope to enroll in universities and colleges. Efforts will be made to provide adult education to ensure their literacy and numeracy. Education is one of the 4 key areas for the decade plan, and I would like to give you an example of how we in Croatia are trying to strengthen the legal framework and thus improve our educational policy. We have amended our Elementary and Secondary Education Act, and from now on, all the children, including Roma children, if they complete the 3-year vocational secondary education, they can go on and complete the 4th year. And given the scholarships that we offer, we believe that we have given the young Roma children a hope to take part in higher education. Diversity and tolerance and respect of human rights is very important. We have to respect the Roma culture, and all participants in the educational process have to be taught about the Roma language, Roma culture, especially in those areas where there are members of the Roma minority. Schools are public institutions, and they play a very important role in the society. And by ensuring that the Roma minority is integrated in the education, will ensure the better quality of life for all of us in Croatia and in Europe. Education is going to be a priority for Croatia during its presidency of the decade. In its educational and cultural policy, the Croatian government will create prerequisites for the inclusion of the Roma in all of the programs which are important for their identity, and this also goes for other minorities. Because we want to ensure that they can participate in the Croatian identity. We would like that our presidency is marked by the progress in the educational process, and that we will be able to share good practices with other member countries. We would also like to make a step forward in the debate about the sustainability policy, which is very important for all of us and not only members of the Roma minority. I believe that our meeting will give us an opportunity to analyze our achievements and also to reach agreement about future activities. So I really want us to be successful in our work today.